Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Gathering, a novel by Annie Enright. This is Annie Enright's fourth and most critically acclaimed novel. She was awarded the Booker Prize, and in this novel, we find Enright's meditation on memory melds past and present to tell the story of a large Irish family and the suicidal death of one of its members. The story starts with Veronica Hegarty, the narrator and central character of The Gathering, who suffers a breakdown after her brother Liam fills his pockets with stones and walks into the sea. His death prompts her to plumb 3 generations of family history in search of the truth of a tragic event from their childhood. The old secrets, memories, and betrayals that become dislodged in her search of the past have a profound effect on Veronica's relationship with her husband and children in the present. The story begins with Veronica stating, "I would like to write down what happened in my grandmother's house the summer I was 8 or 9, but I am not sure if it really did happen." She introduces Liam, her brother, and Rebecca and Emily, her daughters. She usually writes at night while her family sleeps. She describes her conflicted feelings for her mother, Mammy, who does not remember that her daughter's name is Veronica. Mammy had 12 children and 7 miscarriages, all which left holes in her head. Veronica tells Mammy that Liam's body was found in Brighton, England, and Mammy hits her. Veronica, who is now 39, was the one who loved Liam most. Lambert Nugget first saw her grandmother Ada Merriman in a hotel foyer in 1925. He was 23 and she was just 19. A rush of romantic feeling passed between them, but Ada and Lambert did not marry. Ada married Lambert's friend Charlie Spillane instead. Veronica contacts her many loving siblings and tells them the bad news about Liam. Her sister Bea arrives to care for Mammy, and Veronica drives to the airport. She must go to England to deal with Liam's body. A flashback tells her grandfather Charlie Spillane goes to pick up Lambert from a hotel. Charlie makes Ada laugh, and that changes his future and her past. She hints that Lambert and his sister Lizzie may have had an incestuous relationship. Veronica has an upper middle class existence and has not been able to sleep beside her husband Tom after Liam died, and she stays up all night writing. She fears her daughters do not really want her. Liam was a hospital porter in the Hampshire Royal Free, and Veronica used to be a journalist who wrote about shopping. Veronica is on her way to Britain to collect Liam's body. Her sister Bea calls to say that Mammy wants Liam's body brought back to her house for a week. Veronica's father died of a heart attack in 1986. Though none of the Hegartys were stingy, she is aware of her own discomfort about paying for Liam's funeral arrangements and coffin. She, Liam, and Kitty were sent to stay with Ada in Broadstone. Her mother's miscarriages made her incapable of caring for her youngest living children. She describes life with Ada and Charlie and the time she, Liam, and Kitty were caught sneaking into the bus station and running through one of the empty double-deckers. This reminds Veronica of the time in Venice many years later when she ducked into a church to get away from a pervert. She remembers Liam surprising her in the hospital when Rebecca was born. She wonders if Liam has diabetes, and then she realizes he is dead. Veronica details her grandfather's funeral in 1968. Veronica finally sees Liam's body in Britain. Veronica recalls seeing a reflection of herself the day before Liam died and thinking, "So I am happy, that's nice to know." She describes her girls and talks about needing to keep them happy. When they ask, she tells the story of how she and their father met. She does not tell them that Tom was living with another woman at the time. Veronica says he loves his children. He works very hard but feels he is a failure. Veronica has not touched him since the night of Liam's wake. The Brighton undertaker Azrael tells Veronica that due to a paperwork problem, her family will have to wait at least 10 days for Liam's corpse. She walks around Brighton station and sees the world through Liam's eyes. She remembers the first time she and Liam took the ferry. They were on their way to London to work for the summer. It was the end of his second and her third year of college. She calls to check on her daughters and husband and finds the conversation by hanging up and finishes the conversation by hanging up on Tom. A description of a college love affair with Michael views follows. When she was in college, Veronica decided Ada had been a prostitute. She describes Ada's funeral and how afterward Mr. Hegarty sent his girls up to Ada's bedroom with the instructions, "Take what you like." She admits that during the affair she told Michael Weiss things that year she has not told anyone else since. No matter how hard Ada's life was, most of the time she did not cry but just got on with it. As soon as Michael Weiss admitted to loving the idea of Ada as a prostitute, Veronica changed her mind about the theory. She recounts the fights she had with the father and how they affected her exams, and she admits how hurt she is that he is dead. Veronica still feels mortified by Michael Weiss's delight in her family. She focuses on a rubber bathing cap of Ada's. Veronica may have eaten it, but Kitty did. Maybe Liam and Veronica used it to smother Kitty. Her memory of the object causes Veronica to look for items like it in thrift shop. She goes on to describe Ada's garage and how Ada called Lambert Nougat Nolly Me. Veronica imagines Easter Sunday of 1925. Charlie Spillane drives Lambert Nougat and Ada's friend Ellen to the races. Ada called Nugget Nolly Me. Though Nugget and Ada seem to belong together, Charlie ends up winning Ada in the end. Veronica remembers Ada packing a basket and taking her, Liam and Kitty to the seaside on the train. Actually, Ada wraps a few sandwiches and puts them in a string bag and takes the children to an insane asylum called St. Itas. But only Ada goes in and they stay out. Liam becomes frightened at night in the St. Itas visit and would come between them. Veronica remembers these as happy nights because the two of them would talk all night. In their teens, they wrote letters to each other. She describes the hovel she shared with Liam and several roommates the summer she worked in London. Veronica explains that the problem with Liam was always 100 small things. She remembers going to St. Dimpnas and her teacher, Sister Benedict, and cutting herself in college, and Michael Weiss being disgusted by it. Veronica does not go to Mass now but says her daughter Rebecca goes, probably to thwart her. Veronica decides that it is time to say what happened to Liam in their grandmother's house. What follows in her memory of finding Nugget sexually abusing Liam in the good room of her grandmother's house. She began driving at night while her family slept. One morning, Tom misses work to find out where she has been. When he leaves for work, she lies in Emily's bed and wants to finish the job of making her because when she is fully made, she will be strong. Veronica meets Kitty in a pub before they fly to Dublin together. When they land, Veronica drives to St. Ita's Asylum and discovers the mass grave that is St. Ita's Cemetery. She and Liam as teenagers had friends and used to drink together, and Liam breaking her girlfriend's hearts. After this time, Mr. Hegarty had to rescue Liam from jail for a mysterious crime, an event that changed the relationship forever. She feels sorry that she did not recognize what was going on between Liam and Nugget while it was happening. Veronica and Emily talk about Liam's drowning. Tom comes home from work a month after the funeral and Veronica verbally attacks him. He tries to leave, but Veronica storms out of the house ahead of him. She goes to a bar. She realizes that up until Liam's death, she did not mind her life being the way it was. Veronica and the rest of Hegarty family wait for British authorities to file their paperwork and release Liam's body. During those 10 days, Veronica sits with Bea, Kitty and their mother on daily visits to the family home. She admits that she and Liam never bought Mommy anything, which could explain why her mother does not like her better. One day, while waiting for Liam's body to arrive, Veronica finds herself crying on the escalator in a shop. She realizes she is crying because there is nothing in the shop she cannot buy. Liam as a ghost is described as old-fashioned, though in life he was probably more cosmopolitan than the rest of the Hegartys. Veronica, Tom and the children arrive at Mammy's to view Liam's body. All Veronica's living siblings, with the exception of Alice, are assembled. Veronica speaks to her uncle Val, her father's brother, who praises Liam. Veronica realizes her sister Ita has been secretly drinking gin. Wanting to do the same, Veronica persuades Ita to look around for a bottle. Mammy retires and Veronica finds a green shoe box filled with old photographs, letters, receipts, and a series of rent books starting in 1937 that trace the rent history of Ada and Charlie's house in Broadstone. After drinking too much, Veronica is given a pill and sent home in a cab. She wanders her quiet house, then has sex with her husband for the last time. Tom says everything will get better and then apologizes. Veronica describes a forgotten memory, a picture of herself at 8 in the good room of Ada's house in Broadstone. She is holding Lombard Nougat's pen is in her hand and Ada is standing in the doorway. Veronica asserts, "This is a moment for blame. This is the moment when we realize that it was Ada's fault all along." She does not know for sure that Lombard Nougat sexually abused her brother, and she does not think he abused her too. She says, "In short, I know nothing else about Lombard Nougat, who he was and how Ada met him and what he did or did not do." Veronica thoughts on spiritual belief, a memory she has of Ada sewing on the sofa in the good room of her house, and what she finds in the letters and rent books taken from Mama's the night of Lime's Week are revealed. Charlie owned the house once but lost it to Nougat on a horse. After reading the letters, Veronica is led to think that Charlie, Nougat, and Ada shared a relationship of sudden pique and pretty cruelty. Veronica drives to St. Rita's and stands where more than 5,000 people were buried. At 6 a.m., she decides to go home but drives to the airport and gets on a plane instead. At Lime's funeral, Veronica meets Sarah, Lime's old girlfriend, and Sarah and Lime's son Rowan. After the funeral, the family meets and falls in love with Rowan. Veronica describes the day Ada hears Lombard Nougat has died. Veronica checks in a hotel at Gatwick Airport, sleeps 8 hours, dreams of Michael Weirs, then wakes and calls home. Outside the hotel, still inside the airport, she fantasizes about choosing a random destination and flying away, but acknowledges that she will go nowhere but home. While waiting in line for a ticket, she prepares for the return of her own life, and here ends her novel. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.